So hey everyone, it's Crystal here at Power Street and I have some amazing news, actually two great news. So first is that we're actually starting the 2021 Power Street Spotlight. Woo! So here is where we will actually showcase artists that we even haven't worked with, but we're excited to show them here now on the World Wide Web, on all our social medias. And the second amazing news is that we actually have our first guest here today. So please welcome, drum roll, the lovely Pujara.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Crystal. How are you doing?
I'm doing really well. How are you?
I'm good.
Amazing. So first, I would like to, I know a little bit about you, but if you can just introduce yourself, what are your pronouns and who are you?
Yeah, my full name is Rupal Pujara. I live in South Philly. I'm a mom of two. I go by she, her pronouns, and I'm a TV, film, theater actor.
Awesome. Thank you. We like to do an icebreaker just to blend it in. So the icebreaker for you is, what is the most recent song that you really jammed out to, that you really just had to do a whole dance? Like if you're at the concert, you're that artist and you're just singing your heart out or you're dancing your butt off. Like what was that song?
You know, really funny. It's an old song. So during the pandemic, I've been doing these little TikTok dance videos with my 7-year-old daughter.
Love it.
She's obsessed. There's a, what is that song? It's Sean Paul, Rockabye Baby. It's an old song. I mean,
okay. I think I remember it. Yeah.
2019 or something. But I got a whole dance routine that me and my daughter did together. So that's been in my head. It's stuck in my head for the last 2 weeks because it's like we got the moves and we're doing
yes. Oh my gosh, the way the TikTok has like taken over this world and dancing in general is just crazy.
I mean, well, what else are you going to do during the pandemic? You got to dance or do something. I mean, that's really, it's ironic, but being home with my two kids that are 7 and 5, we've literally got through with dancing and puppets and a lot of booze after hours. But that's another story.
One thing I like to start with is, what is your origin story with theater? How did you fall in love with theater and acting and film? How did it all start?
Well, that's a really great question. So I grew up in rural Pennsylvania, where I was your diversity. I was like everything at the time. When I was growing up, it was like I was every diversity box. And I really didn't feel like I fit in anywhere, and I was just trying to be everything. I was a bit of an athlete. I was a singer, but really I was also a goofball and a little awkward looking, let's say. I mean, I definitely had the unibrow going, a few pounds overweight. And so I was like, okay, where do I go? Where do I fit? And so I kind of got into theater in school, mainly in middle school and high school, where they didn't have enough men. So I just played a lot of the guy parts. And that just kind of got me involved. I was like, oh, this is kind of interesting. I know I'm playing boys. I mean, no one wants to date me, but at least I'm playing one on stage. So that's sort of where I fell in love with transforming, because I really felt in my everyday, I couldn't fit. So that anxiety or angst that I had as a teenager, feeling awkward and like just self-conscious, like went away when I was on stage. And I just love that feeling. So I just kept wanting to do it. And I would find ways to do it, even though I would say in my family, I mean, I grew up in a very traditional Indian family. I'm first generation Indian American. My parents immigrated from India. That they were more like, you're going to be a doctor, you're going to be a lawyer, and then you're going to get married, have children, and life is over. You know, like that.
Yeah.
So, but I was like, what do you mean? I want to go to Broadway. I want to like,
right.
You know, like I always felt that I was like, I think I'm supposed to do something else. Also because I just wasn't feeling it with like science. And I mean, I'm telling my kids like school is where it's at, but I really just felt this fire inside me every time I performed. So even though I wanted to go to NYU for acting, I got in, but then I also got into Wharton Business School. And so my parents convinced me like, let's be safe, Rupal. You know,
Oh man,
plan
yeah.
B, which we hope is your plan A, you know? And I was like, okay, maybe I'll do that. And so I ended up going to Wharton, and that's how I stayed in Philadelphia. And while I was pursuing, I guess, a business degree, I was performing. And then, even though my love was theater, I went from theater to this is a very crazy behind the music story where I got signed to a record label and
Oh yeah, I saw that.
in the UK for some years. And so I had like that sort of Indian pop star like moment. But then what really happened was while I was doing my music videos and I was coming up with the storylines, it really brought me back to theater and performing. And also that's when I got into film and TV because from doing the music videos and really enjoying not even just the singing, but I really enjoyed telling the story on film. That's how I kind of kept progressing in my career and, you know, just trying every different medium that gave me that same energy I had when I was that anxious girl that didn't fit in and, you know, rural PA.
No, I definitely understand. And also speaking of that music video I saw for My Addiction, I love like what made me really love it was at the end of just like, hold on, this is not what I thought this whole song and video was about, and now things are connecting. So everyone, if you have a chance, quickly go Google on YouTube, go My Addiction by Lady Rue. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about because you think you know. I was like, oh my gosh, this is great. And then I thought, I was like, this is how you know she's a theater person because you don't see that normally in like music videos for today, right? So it's just like, there's a real story. It's not just looking pretty and singing a song. It's like,
well, and I'll say our budgets were a little lower back then. So we had to come up with more story because we're like, I don't have the budgets for all the fake hair and the glamour. So I was like, let's just make a really great story. And so I was like, can I just be, instead of being like the beautiful one, because I was always very anxious. I never fit in, even in the image wise in the music industry, which I go into in I have a solo show called Snake Charmer, which was also a song I did when I was Lady Rue. And my solo show is all about how I became this rising Indian pop star from rural PA and how it just all collapsed. And but I just never fit the image. So I would always push a story because I was like, if I'm doing good in the story, maybe no one's really going to care if I'm not the prettiest one or the skinniest one. You know, and so I think that's also another reason why acting was such a like a place that gave me solace, and I just felt safe because I was like, you can't judge that. You can't judge me through that. That's the story. That's like I'm just portraying a real life sort of situation, so that can be ugly or maybe not as pretty, and I think I really like to lean into things like that because it's just more natural for me.
Isn't it so crazy how like our insecurities can make really great art? And it's like, seriously, I have to go through all this, but hey, it's healing and it comes out, it creates great work. So
yeah,
gotta love it.
Hi, everybody. My name is Rupal Pujara, and I did a monologue from the play called India Pale Ale by Jacqueline Bacchus. Enjoy.
A lovely house. What a lovely, lovely empty house I have. It's not all about the lovely pissing contest house. Who knew someone like you could ever live better than someone who's from here? From here. From here doesn't mean anything. Hardly anyone is from here. I'm from here. I'm from right down the fucking street. But that white guy didn't know that. These white guys with 3 fucking names. And now he's dead. He died believing what he believed. That we're all cheap, dirt trash terrorists. Fuck him and his 3 fucking names. They're the terrorists. I was born in this bullshit country. I'm as American as a fucking deep fried apple pie baseball casserole. If nobody's gonna understand that, then we might as well forget all this. Oh. Forget. Yeah. It's easier to forget. We spend our time forgetting language, forgetting how to spell things, forgetting how to make things, making samosas with flour tortillas, forgetting who we are. So they will call us American.
So, welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that monologue. It was really, very, very, very good. But one thing I appreciate with this is like, it's unfortunate that we have to share our stories. Like, we have to say the same story over and over again of just not fitting into what is American, even though America is literally everyone else in just a country. Like, we're everywhere, this and that. But I appreciate that because of thinking of how it's almost like our duty as artists to like continue to share these, even if it's just through an audition, or whatever roles we accept or, we play. And I just want, this is me just appreciating you and the work that you
Well, I appreciate that,
done.
Crystal. I mean, I will tell you that, so this play, India Pale Ale, where this monologue is from, it had a world premiere in 2018 at the Manhattan Theater Club. It was an off-Broadway production. I was actually in consideration for this role. And it was a life-changing experience for me, even though I didn't get it. And the reason is this woman is a South Asian Indian woman, Indian American, lives in Wisconsin. First time I was able to work on a role with this complexity, who was in an Indian woman that was not a stereotype and was actually having the same conflicting identity issues that I have growing up here in America. And she's a mother and she's funny and she has sadness. And, I'm like, yes, it was the first time I could really play a role with my authentic voice. I was like, I don't have to put on an accent to show that I'm Indian. There's no stereotype here. She's just a mother in pain, or no, not even in pain. She's like, I'm done with the pain. Like, I'm American and, it is what it is. And I'm not, and I think the part of this that really, the reason I picked this monologue is the sadness, but the reality of how we sometimes hide who we are to fit in. And I've done that my entire life. And so I feel like that really connected with my own story. And so in that sense, I really do feel like it's not actually the same story, even though it is. And many people have this story. I actually don't feel, at least within the South Asian community, the stories expressed this way. Usually it's not the mother that has the story. The mother is the stereotype. So the mother will never explain her struggle or her conflict. Even if she's a stereotype, it's like, well, why does she act that way? Why is she having this, generational conflict with her American-born kids or something like that? But it's never that. So what makes this unique is it's the mom.
Yeah.
Her story. And she's Indian American as opposed to my mom's generation coming from India. And I feel like when I play a role or the roles that I get, I'm still playing my mom. I'm not playing, like the contemporary Indian American mom. Like what are the struggles I'm going through? Like, trying to teach my daughter how to just be herself. And yeah, you're Indian. Yes, you're American. And to just like be able to accept both identities. So
yeah.
I'm touched that it also spoke to you as well.
Yeah, and that's actually even hearing, because I know how you feel when it comes to like growing up in like almost an all-white neighborhood, or just like where your culture isn't really there. Like I also can relate to that from where I was born. I'm up in like the Poconos, where I grew up in. So it's like, there's not really much of a Latinx community. Like when I was growing up.
I know this is about me, but I'm curious.
No, that's fine. I'm up in Tobyhanna.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, because there's moments where it's like, I'm too nervous to even like growing up more so, but I think even to this day a bit. But I was just like practicing Spanish because like even if I know exactly what to say and how to say it, if I try to talk to someone who is like a fluent Spanish speaking person, I'm like they're gonna know I'm a fraud. And it's like I shouldn't feel that way, and just like that insecurity of my culture. But then that's like kind of what it was like, because like I couldn't do this at home. I couldn't talk to my friends like this. My
Right.
parents were just straight up just speaking English.
This is the struggle of now, is how do I fit in within my culture? And it's like you feel like you don't, but you do, because we all feel that way. And so that story needs to be told so that we all feel comfortable
Yeah.
speaking our languages, our mother tongues or our parents' languages with an American accent, maybe a little bit, or it might not sound as authentic, but it's authentic to us because this is where we live, but we still know the language and it connects us. I feel like
Right.
language is so important to connecting to your roots that, you know, it's an insecurity we can only let go if we see the insecurity shown to us. And it's,
Yeah.
you know, and then
Yeah.
we're, okay, I see you. That's me. Okay, great. I can do this.
Right.
I can, you know, be comfortable.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So, Rue, do you have any future projects or any good news that you would just like to share if you don't have any projects?
Oh yeah, no, I'm very excited. This year I have a bunch of things coming out. I have a movie coming out called India Sweets and Spices. It was actually produced by the same people who did Crazy Rich Asians. This is like the Crazy Rich Indian version. I'm the Crazy Rich Indian. I have a supporting lead role in it, so I'm pretty excited about that. I just finished shooting a role on a Hulu series called Dope Sick with Michael Keaton, which was fun. And I just finished a recording for a virtual production for New York City Children's Theater. It's an adaptation of a book called Same, Same, But Different. And I think it's great because, you know, I have 2 kids, and the whole struggle with having friends during COVID is exactly speaking to that. It's about these 2 kids, Mexican-American girl and an Indian boy from India, and they become pen pals during COVID. I mean, it's like a beautiful story. So it'll come out in March with New York City Children's Theater. And I actually just finished last night with PAC. They had their virtual reading series, which was so great because I got to work with 2 up and coming Indian playwrights, and Joseph Ahmed and Namisha Ladva. And it was just really awesome to be able to work with them and, you know, push the South Asian narrative forward, pushing, you know, just storytelling forward. Like, it, you know, there's so many different stories that I feel sometimes in our theaters, Philly especially, you don't always get to hear these stories. And so it was really great that PAC really opened up their submissions and chose 2 South Asian plays, which was really exciting.
That's awesome. And where can people find out more about you or follow you on social media? What are your social media tags?
My handles.
There you go. Yeah, your
handles. But no, I know I should be like, I know I have Instagram, but I'm never on it. I know I need to be. But you can definitely, I have a website, rupalpujara.com, RUPALPUJARA. .com. I used to be Lady Rue. There's a bunch of videos on YouTube. I do have an Instagram account, Rue Pujara, Facebook as well. Hit me up. Yeah, and I'm in South Philly, very close to Pat's and Gino's, so you'll probably see me walking around with my kids.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for spending some time with me. It was great actually getting to know you outside of emails. It's so funny. You don't hear the person's voice until this very instant. And it's like, I don't know, but I'm excited.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Crystal. I'm just really excited to work with Power Street Theater, and I just love your mission. And yeah, this is just really great. And I hope there's more to come.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.